One estimate from the Education Data Initiative puts the price tag of the plan at $700 billion, paid for by new taxes targeting Wall Street, including a 0.5% tax on stock trades.
Thanks very much.
The Wall Street tax would hit average Americans saving for retirement.
What people say that? People on Wall Street. Thank you.
You gotta love Bernie Sanders. How you do?
For the first time, I find myself agreeing with a Fox News host. You do have to love Bernie Sanders. Taking a break from running their weekly segment of Where's Wally Informant Edition.
With respect to the tapes, look, it mentioned in the FBI form that the oligarch had 17 tapes of Biden, 2 with Joe Biden, accepting the bribe, that he used that as an insurance policy.
This oligarch was a high-ranking member or owner of Burisma?
Yes, that is exactly right. So
have you
had any contact with him? Unfortunately, nobody's had any contact with him for the last 3 years. You know, the MSNBC makes fun of me when I said that there are a lot of people that were involved in the Biden shenanigans that are currently missing. But with respect to this oligarch, we think we know where he is. He just hasn't been seen in public in a long time. But
Fox opted to discuss student loan forgiveness, and they aired a clip of their reporter chasing down Bernie Sanders to try some gotcha question to get on the network. Now, the unwavering senator from Vermont, as he usually is, was well prepared to answer this Fox News reporter's attempt at the gotcha question in under 10 seconds.
One estimate from the Education Data Initiative puts the price tag of the plan at $700 billion, paid for by new taxes targeting Wall Street, including a 0.5% tax on stock trades. Is it really free if you're raising taxes to pay for it?
Well, given the fact that we have the billionaire class paying a lower tax rate than working families, I think it's appropriate that the wealthiest people in this country stop paying their fair share of taxes. Thanks very much.
The Wall Street tax would hit average Americans saving for retirement.
What people say that? People on Wall Street. Thank you.
You gotta love Bernie Sanders. How you do?
Now, this isn't the first time that Bernie has appeared on Fox and left his mark. We all remember when an entire Fox News audience were left cheering and applauding after he was asked to speak on affordable healthcare.
I want to ask the audience a question. If you could raise your hand here. A show of hands of how many people get their insurance from work, private insurance, right now. How many get it from private insurance? Okay, now of those, how many are willing to transition to what the senator says, a government-run system? There's 180 million people on private insurance.
All right, let's deal with that, Brett.
And
fair question.
They
Brett?
would be lost, right?
Well,
to your
Brett,
system.
Fair
okay.
question.
Okay.
Good question.
Good, thank you.
I know it's what the right wing throws out, so let me answer it. All right? Millions of people every single year lose their health insurance. You know why? They get fired or they quit and they go to another employer. I was the mayor for 8 years. You know what I did, what probably every mayor in America does, is you look around for the best insurance program, the most cost-effective insurance. You change insurance. Every year, millions of workers wake up in the morning and their employer has changed the insurance that they have. Maybe they like the doctors. People are nodding their heads. Okay? So this is not new. Every year. Now, what we're talking about actually is stability. That when you have a Medicare for all, it is there now and it will be there in the future.
Now that your tax returns have been released and you have been identified as a millionaire and in the top 1%, will you pay your fair share? And how do you plan to apply the policies that you have been talking about enforcing on top earners?
Now, you raised the issue, I am a millionaire. Well, actually, this year we had $560,000 in income. And that's a lot of money. And that money, in my case, my wife's case, it came from a book that I wrote. Pretty good book. You might want to read it. It was a bestseller, sold all over the world, and we made money. So if anyone thinks that I should apologize for writing a best-selling book, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. I guess the president watches your network a little bit, right? Hey, President Trump, my wife and I just released 10 years. Please do the same. Let the American people know.
And it goes to show that, yes, while the damage that Fox News has done to the soul of this country is almost immeasurable, there continues to be vast parts of the population that tune in. It still remains the most watched cable news network, which, yes, fills me with sadness. But there's an opportunity, when presented, to offer viewers something they see rarely, which is facts. Like when Gavin Newsom went on recently.
For our president, I have great confidence in his leadership.
I don't want him to
and what
fail.
he's been able to accomplish.
I think his policies are failing.
CHIPS Act, Science Act? Do you oppose that?
I will tell you, on every measure, from the economy, inflation, borders, energy, national security, he's missing in action.
Let's talk about them in order.
Hang on.
Wait, but I want to challenge the premise. You said the economy, 13.1 million jobs he's created. More.
These are post-COVID jobs. Okay. You know that. That's an artificial number.
No. Then let me stipulate this as an opportunity to engage civilly on this.
Okay.
Fair point. Your president, Donald Trump, lost 2.6 million jobs during his 4 years. We've created 13.1 million. Fine, you can maintain a COVID frame. How about the fact that Joe Biden's created more jobs, 6 times more jobs, than the previous 3 Republican presidents combined?
Are you going to tell me
Sean,
that the average family, where we have 2/3 of Americans now living paycheck to paycheck,
it was 70% under Trump? That was 70%. It was 70% under Donald Trump.
Pre-COVID, we had the lowest unemployment rate for every demographic.
We have the lowest black unemployment in history, and you and I are living with the lowest unemployment in our lifetime, Sean.
We had it for every demographic, and the economy was
black unemployment's record low under Joe Biden.
Okay. We had historic low after historic low under Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. I mean, but he's cleaned Trump's clock, Biden, in terms of the progress in job creation. Look at what he's done on jobs.
What would you grade Pete Buttigieg?
Your husband tweeted after Justice Brett Kavanaugh left a Washington restaurant due to protesters. The tweet reads, "Sounds like he just wanted some privacy to make his own dining decisions." Is that appropriate, sir?
Look, when public officials go into public life, we should expect 2 things. One, you should always be free from violence, harassment, and intimidation. And 2, you're never going to be free from criticism or peaceful protest, people exercising their First Amendment rights. Okay. And that's what happened in this case. Remember, the justice never even came into contact with these protesters, reportedly didn't see or hear them. And these protesters are upset because a right, an important right, that the majority of Americans support was taken away. Understood. Not only the right to choose, by the way, but this justice was part of the process of stripping away the right to privacy. As long as I've been alive, settled case law in the United States has been that the Constitution protected a right to privacy, and that has now been thrown out the window by justices, including Justice Kavanaugh, who, as I recall, swore up and down in front of God and everyone, including the United States Congress, that they were going to leave settled case law alone. So yes, people are upset. They're going to exercise their First Amendment rights. And as long as that's peaceful, that's protected. Compare that, for example, to the reality that as a country, right now, we're reckoning with the fact that a mob summoned by the former president
let me follow up, Mr. Secretary.
The United States Capitol for the purpose of overthrowing the election and very nearly succeeded in preventing the peaceful transfer of power. But I think common sense can tell the difference.
But as a high-profile public figure, sir, are you comfortable with protesters protesting when you and your husband go to dinner at a restaurant?
Protesting peacefully outside in a public space? Sure. Look, I can't even tell you the number of spaces, venues, and scenarios where I've been protested. And the bottom line is this. Any public figure should always be free from violence, intimidation, and harassment, but should never be free from criticism or people exercising their First Amendment rights.
Or the great Bernie Sanders.
You're not paying any more deductibles. How's that? $28,000 you're not paying. But does that mean you're not going to pay something? Of course it does. You're going to pay more in taxes.
Members of Congress, are they going to do that transition as well?
Damn right. Of course. Of course. Why would you suggest otherwise?
Hey, Midas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.